All right, everybody, welcome back. We're gonna maybe almost finish off this game. So first, we need to set up our camera so that we can see what's going on. So in the game view, this is what we're seeing in our camera, and we're not seeing a lot. You can kind of see just the boundaries we have on the left and right, and that's about it. So the first thing we need to do is set up our build target to be able to change the resolution at which our camera is viewing. So let's go up into File and Build Settings. And we want to switch to WebGL. All the stuff that I'm going to do in my class, we're going to be uploading them to a GitHub page, and WebGL is the target we need for that. So click on that, switch that platform, wait for it to finish. And then once it's done recompiling all that stuff, then it's really fast from here. We can just go to the player settings. That pulls up our project settings. Another way to get here is to go to Edit, Project Settings, and that brings up the same menu. You may have to pull this out some. And so right here, under Player, there's the settings for WebGL. I can go with my resolution and say that the default canvas width, let's just play with these numbers. So if we go look for common screen sizes for like multiple devices, for mobile devices, I don't want to go with the brand newest thing right now, but there's a bunch of these that were the iPhone 8, 7, 6, some that might still be floating around. They're 750 by 1334. So let's type that in. So for our width, 750, our height is 1334. And so when we build it out, it'll come in at that size. So we want to see how that's going to look in our viewport here. So in our game view, where it says free aspect right there, let's click on that. It gives us a couple of presets, but we want to add our own in here. So we'll click that plus, and we'll call this just iPhone for the label. It's a fixed resolution, and then the width again is 750 by 1334. Press OK. And then now you can see that changed the size there, and it also changed the size in our scene view here. And that's really small now. So let's close our project settings, and then we'll go select our camera. Let's go in the inspector, change the size. If you click on the word size, you can drag it and kind of see how that changes. So we want to get it big enough left and right. We might go a little larger. And then we can also go and move, grab our move tool up here, and move it up and down so that maybe that sits in the middle. I have two things selected. Oh, my left wall is a child of my main camera for some reason. Let's pull that out. So just the camera, and we can move that up and down. I'm going to put it in the center. This is a little tall. Maybe later we can move things up and around. So something like that. Yeah, I'm leaving a bunch of space at the top. We can move the top wall up and extend the side walls and fill it in with bricks however we want to. So I think that's pretty good for our camera right now. Next, we need to start getting some text onto our screen. So let's pull this up some so we can see it. In my hierarchy, I'm going to click on this plus. I'm going to create a UI and then text. When we create this text object, it's going to create a canvas for us. You can kind of see it pop up here in my scene view. When we make a canvas, it makes it super big. So if you click on the canvas game object, come over with your mouse in the scene view and press F, it'll pop in there. Also, if you look real close down there, you'll see where that new text is. So if we grab this text, we can, I want to put it in the top left-hand corner because this is going to be our lives. So let's name that lives text. Here, I'm going to click on this guy, and this says to hold Shift to set a pivot and Alt to set a position. I want to do both of those things, so I'll hold Alt and Shift and click in the top left-hand corner. It's going to pop up there. For my text, I want to just say again, my lives text. we will change that with a script. I can leave font Arial like that, that's fine. The font style, font size, this needs to come up so we can start to see it. The thing is, if you get large enough, there's this box around it. And so if we get larger than that box, it's going to not show right now. So what you can do is come up here and grab the rectangle tool, and we can drag that larger. So maybe let's go font size of 32 should be big enough. I also see I'm right on the edge there. I need to leave a little bit of a padding. So on my position X, let's just bump that over by like 10. And position Y, I need to go -10 to bring it down. All right, back down here. The main one is going to be color. So let's change it from this dark gray to something like a yellow. And now it really pops out. All right, and so, like I said, let's save our work for right now. Hit Control S there. Let's go into our script and start assigning this text. So then we're going to go to our game manager, open up that script. We're going to need to add some text variables, but they aren't a part of just the regular collections that we have up there. So if we go public text, it's not auto-completing. There's other text things, but I just need a text. So if I even if I come back, take that off, it says it's not there. If I call this lives text, I need to add a collection up here. So after my Unity engine, using Unity engine, add another line. We're going to type in using Unity engine .ui. And once that is there, then that populates and works. And so now my next question is, where are we going to put our code to change our initial amount of lives? And so when we set up the game, we want to be able to tell our player, hey, you have 3 lives left. And so we already have our setup game function. Let's come to the end of that. And we'll just say lives text dot text equals, and then in quotation marks, we'll say lives, and we can have a colon and add a space there inside of the quotation mark. And then outside the quotation mark, I'm going to say plus, and then I'm going to use this variable for lives. And then we want that to go to a string, because that's what we're putting into, that's the data that we're putting into our lives text.text. So it's lives.toString. And we need to open and close parentheses, and then our semicolon there. So let's save this. Let's see what happens. Hit play. This should change for us. All right. I'm getting an error down here. So if we pull up our console, it says an object reference is not set to an instance of an object. I have to tell it in my game manager. I have to tell it that this lives text is actually something. It doesn't automatically connect those two things. So let me exit play mode. In my game manager, I'm going to take this text object here. Let's actually rename it real quick. Lives text. If I can spell. And on our game manager, select your game manager, click and drag that lives text all in one motion up to the lives text variable right there. And now let's try again. Now it says lives equals 3. And the cool part is we're going to play our game, move around, good stuff, and then when we miss, when we set this up again, we've lost a life. And so in our script, we already had that set up. And so when we lose a life, it takes away a life, and then we run setup game again. It reassigns our lives and how many lives the lives variable back to that text. And so it'll lose that life for us. So this was the correct place to put that line of text. So we'll exit play mode. All right, so that's pretty much it. So we can now we can create our paddle. We can have collisions. We can bounce off of things. We can destroy objects when we run into them. in multiple ways, just when we collide with them, and then when we hit a trigger, which it triggers an event to have something else happen. So this is kind of a complete game. We'll do one more video just cleaning up some things, but this is pretty well done. And then I'll show you how to build out the game. So come back next time.